Alright, officially good morning. Let's begin our practice today by sitting up tall, preparing ourselves to focus on the breath. Sitting up a little taller, relaxing shoulders. Relaxing the facial expression. Watching the breath. Seeing the chest move with the breath, maybe the rib cage, maybe the belly. This time, start to deepen the breath. And as you're deepening the breath, really pay attention to the quality of the breath. See if you can notice the physical quality of the breath. And then go a little bit deeper. See if you can sense the an underlying quality of the breath. And see if you can give it maybe a word. So today, something different. As you're breathing, maybe experiencing the breath as nutrition, and letting that word play in as you breathe in and out. Or maybe you can sense the beauty behind it or the truth behind it. Find a word that describes the underlying quality to you of the breath as you grow it, breath by breath. Sink into that quality for 5 or 6 more deep breaths. And let's bring in the meaning to this practice, the deeper meaning, the underlying meaning through Shiva Mantra. And we'll do as we always do Sundays. We'll have one long Om and then we'll chant. And if you don't know it, just hold the meaning in your heart, which I'll give first. I bow to the presence of the divine within, our true and highest teacher, that lives in and around us as being, consciousness, and bliss. It is ever present and radiates peace, lighting the way to transformation. Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, at this time, let's go into a plank posture, hands and knees. Strong posture right away today, so we can really focus on this balance between strength and flexibility, and also restoration, which comes out of the breath work and everything else that we're doing. So right into plank. So you can have an adjustment here if you'd like to be on the forearms, or if you want to be on the hands, or have one leg extended, or both. But wherever you are, you're focusing on pulling the pelvis in and squeezing the shoulders back. So you can even do this with the knees down and behind. You're still going to feel some weight bearing on the arms and some strengthening of the core. And just take 5 deep breaths. About 2 more breaths. Bring the knees down and switch to the back. So cross the ankles. Come all the way down to the back. Bring the knees into the chest and rock a little side to side. Check in with the breath as you're here. Notice if you've shifted into victorious breath, and if not, then we'll go ahead and initiate it here. Taking a breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, fog it out. Mouth stays open, fog in. Close the mouth, exhale through the nostrils. And let's go into happy baby from here. So let's begin first by taking a hold of the feet. Take a hold of the feet and pull the feet in. Pull the feet in as close to the trunk as you can get the feet. Now as you're here, take the shoulders and press them into the mat. So we're going to squeeze shoulders back and push the shoulder blades down the back at the same time. Now the neck is going to feel longer. And then as you're here, take the feet skyward, keeping the hands to the feet. So you can have a deep end of the knees. You know, if you're tight in the body at this time, you'll have a deep bend. If you want to experiment and see about extending and finding some little bit more encouraging of opening of the back of the legs, you can alternate. But we'll take about a minute to explore silently, except for the sounds of our breath, or if you have background music playing, which you're always, welcome to do, of course. And now we'll have a hold of the feet and bring them back in as we did before, letting the soles of the feet press into each other, drawing the feet in. Check in with the shoulders, take them back into the mat, press them down. About 3 more breaths here. At this time, we're going to take a big changeover once again to plank posture. So play around with how you are going to get there. The nice thing about being at home is, especially you have your cameras off, play around, experiment. Maybe you're going to rock a little bit and hold the feet, go back and forth. You know, maybe you'd like to take a vinyasa in between so we can have knees draw in and then roll forward, and just see what you'd like to do, what you can do. And then we're back in plank. And we'll be here for 5 deep breaths. So if you know it's only 5 breaths, maybe you can add a little extra challenge. So if you're in a plank and you say, well, I could add a leg, lift it up. One more breath. Now we're changing again. Knees down, cross the ankles to come back to lying down. Bring the knees into the chest, give them a big squeeze. Rock a little bit side to side. We'll go ahead and take the knees open and hold the feet with the hands as we did. Draw the feet in. See if the soles of the feet can come back together. Lift the head this time. Find 5 deep breaths. Strengthening the neck. Pull the feet in a little bit more deeply. And then we'll lower the head and find again Ananda Balasana, happy baby, taking feet skyward. Exploring for a little bit here, seeing if it's changed, seeing what hasn't changed. Maybe you change the position of the hands on the feet and notice what that does in the shoulders or the legs. About 4 more breaths. You can intensify this too in the thighs and the hips by pushing the feet in and really bending the knees. And you can even create a little resistance. So why don't we actually try that? So have the knees outside of the elbows, and then draw the feet down with the hands. So you're pulling, but now push the feet into the hands. Feel how the legs activate, and then relax the legs, but push the feet down. And then once again, let's say 4 more times just to see what does this do to the body. Push the feet into the hands. And now just hands push into feet, legs relax. Again. Taking a breath in when you resist, exhaling when you release. 2 more. And then just relaxing the legs as you hold them with the arms. Now we'll draw the feet in towards each other and then in towards the trunk. Knees open wide. Feet getting closer and closer. Lift the head again for 3 breaths. See if you can get the head closer towards the feet. And release the head. This time bring the feet down to the mat. Let's come into a bridge posture. So we have the knees really separated. This will help if you have a block. You'll bring a block to the knees. We were opening the inner thighs. Now let's activate the inner thighs by bringing a book or a block between the knees, taking the feet as close to your bottom as possible. So draw them in with the hands if you can. Walk the shoulders back towards each other. Then when you're ready, pull the pelvis and lift the hips, and feel that in order to hold that object between the knees, you have to have the inner thighs and the glutes very active. So now you can see how this strengthens those parts of the body. Then we can walk shoulders back a little bit more. If the feet are close enough, you might hold the ankles with the hands. If not, maybe interlace fingers, press arms down, or tighter shoulders, chest, elbows down, hands up. Let's say one more breath. And exhale, lower down. Now right from here, we're going to come back up to plank posture. So we'll take the knees in maybe, and then rock up or roll to your side, however you get there. Maybe you throw in a vinyasa in between. And then we're in plank posture. We'll be here for 5 breaths. So again, if you know what to expect, you can adjust for the level of challenge you're looking for today, or what you're able to do at this time. And then from here, we're going to come all the way down to the belly. There we go. And we'll keep the hands down on the mat underneath the shoulders. Bring the forehead to the mat. Bring the feet together. And now begin to straighten the legs. Push the feet, tops of the feet down into the mat. Now see if you can feel that the hips are stable. Activate the glutes and begin to push into the hands to lift the heart, lift the head, and then lift the hands. Squeeze the elbows back. Take 5 breaths. Exhale, lower down. Press up. We're going to rest in child's posture now. Take the knees apart, big toes together. Lower the trunk, hips down to heels. Clear a breath out through the mouth. Okay, let's rise up. Come to hands and knees. Bring the knees under the hips. And right from here, Let's move a little bit into cat-cow, inhaling, belly relaxing. Exhale, belly engaging. Inhaling, belly relaxing, head up, tailbone shifting up. And then exhale, pulling the belly in. Let's go through this a few more times. And then come into table, neutral table. Let's find downward facing dog. Step the hands forward a step, roll over the toes, lift the knees, take the hips back. Right from here, we'll step the feet forward to the top of the mat into forward fold. Heel toe the feet to the edges of the mat. Let's come into a wider leg fold. And then releasing the head down. So holding maybe the elbows with the hands so we can pull the arms down even further. You can feel this into the mid-back, feel it in the shoulder blades. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. Focus on the exhalation. So let the exhalation, normally we're looking for matching inhalation to exhalation, where they last the same amount of time. See if you can make the exhalation last longer than the inhale, but without compromising the inhale, of course. So keep it as deep as you can, but then let that exhalation extend, maybe 1, 2, 3 seconds more, as much as you can. So as you're doing that, notice what happens to the body on the exhalation. Now let's be here a little bit more so that we can make this an experiment. So we started earlier focusing on the underlying quality of the breath, giving it a word. See if you can focus on, once you notice the physical quality, physical change that occurs with the exhale, look underneath and see what a principle or a word is underneath the experience of exhalation and the body releasing. What's the underlying quality? Focus on that for a few more breaths. And now we'll release the arms. Begin to come up halfway, lengthen the spine, lift the heart, lift the head, bring the hands to the hips, and then rise all the way up to standing. Once you're here, let's go ahead and move a little bit. So maybe swing the arms, sway the hips, maybe tilt the head. Just let it be free movement. Maybe hands to hips and sway the hips side to side, or take the hips into circles. It's a great way to notice tight spaces in the body, just finding free movement. And then we'll step the feet hips distance apart. Okay, release the arms alongside the body. Flip the palms to face forward. So now you flip the palms forward. Now flip the palms to face back. And as we're doing this, we're experiencing the shoulders moving, right? Because this is where this is occurring from the arm, top of the arm. Take the shoulders to face forward, but maybe even now take the palms, to face out. And then forward, in, and then out. So now this full motion, taking the palm out, in, and then behind, pressing behind. And so we'll continue this a few more times, really experiencing the shoulders, experiencing the elbows. And let's at this time keep the palms flipped forward. Squeeze the shoulders back. Exhale, lower the shoulder blades down the back. Step the left foot to the back of the mat. You can come to the ball of the foot first and then start to adjust. Just scooching the foot further back to find a nice lunge. We'll keep the back heel lifted. As we're here, the palms are facing forward. Take the tailbone shifted out, and then when you're ready, shift it in. So as you're feeling this, you're going to notice some changes in the left thigh. So pull the pelvis in. Now it feels like you're pressing into the back foot, and then relax that. Now you feel more weight into the right leg, the right foot. Go ahead and pull the pelvis in, feeling the thigh, the foot, back foot, and then relax. A few more of these. Pulling the pelvis in. And so what we're doing here is we're really focusing on this hip flexor. We're strengthening the glute. So there's some opening on this side, some strengthening on this side. Let's continue this a few more times. Keeping the shoulders in place with the palms facing forward. Okay, right from here, stabilize the pelvis, pull the pelvis in. Now heel, or actually scooch this back foot further back, all the way. We're going to go all the way down, still staying stable in the upper body. And then eventually, when you're ready, bring the left knee down. So without the use of the hands, bring the left foot onto the mat. And now sink into the right knee. So after some of that, we're going to get a little bit more open into the left thigh and hip flexor. Now at this time, let's lower the hands around the right foot and actually bring them both to the inside of the right foot, heel toeing right foot to the right. So we're going to come into dragon posture for a little bit. As you're here, check in. You might want to incorporate some blocks, blankets to bring forearms onto so that you can come into a letting go situation. Or even, hands. Let's see, maybe if you can let the head go. Taking the left knee as far back as you can, keeping the right knee over the right ankle, directly over. We'll take 5 more deep breaths. And then we'll start to come out of this, bringing the hands to the mat. As we had before, bring hands around the right foot. Bring the right foot back to central position. Roll over the back toes. So now we're in a nice low lunge. We'll find a twisting dragonfly from here. Left palm down. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Tuck this right shoulder blade into the back. Straighten the arm. Spread the fingers, both hands. Three more breaths. And then we'll bring the right hand down around the right foot. Right from here, spring the left foot forward. Heel toe the feet apart to the edges of the mat. Come back into that hanging forward fold, maybe clasping elbows, letting the head hang loose. And bring your attention to the legs. Notice the left leg, notice the right leg. Notice the imbalance. Subtle imbalance. The more and more we're in tune with the body, the more we sense these things. And then we can do something about it if needed. Focus on a deeper exhalation, a little longer exhalation than your inhalation. Release the arms. Inhale, come up halfway, lifting the heart, lifting the head. You can bring the hands to the hips and then rise all the way up to standing. Once you're here, again, release the arms and bring the feet so they're hips distance apart, and then just experience the body, maybe swaying hips or circling them. Maybe some side bends. Okay, once we have the hips distance apart, or the feet hips distance, the hips will always be hips distance apart. Once we have the feet there, let's take the palms forward again. Take the palms out, and then go through and shift the palms to face back, shift the palms to face out. Okay, so we did a little bit with the shoulders. See if you can sense that small imbalance. Okay, so now we will flip the palms to face forward. The shoulders are back, the shoulder blades are down. Feet are hips distance so that we can step the right foot to the back of the mat, bring the ball of the foot down, and then scooch this foot fairly back so that your left knee is over the left ankle. Okay, pay attention to the right leg, the left leg, right foot, left foot. And now we'll start working with the pelvis again to change the front and the back body. So when you're ready, let the tailbone shift outwards. You feel the arch in the back. Some people stay here too long and then they create damage to the spine. So now we're going to pull the pelvis in and experience the right thigh, the right hip flexor, the right glute. Okay, then relax that and pull in. And we're going, it was at least 15 to 20 of these before, so we're going to keep going. Stay firm in the upper body. Maybe a few more. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and start to scooch this right foot back. Keep the upper body stable until finally you can bring the right knee down to the mat. Bring the hands down around the left foot and then switch. Take hands to the inside of the foot. Left foot moves to the left side of the mat. And now we're going to, when ready, sink the trunk down if possible. Keep the right knee as far back as it'll possibly go. Let the progress happen. So that means that when you feel just a little space that you've created, just by being in the posture and breathing in it, then you can go a little deeper. Maybe bend elbows, maybe use props to lower forearms too. Maybe 5 more breaths. And start to make your way up, straightening the arms, planting the palms. Center the left foot again, so the left hand is to the outside of the foot. We'll roll over the back toes to lift the back knee, right palm down, and then inhale, lift the left arm up into that twisting dragonfly. Tuck the left shoulder blade in. Two more breaths. And then we'll have this left hand come down. Step the right foot up. Heel toe the feet apart to the edges of the mat. Lower the trunk down. Maybe hands to elbows. Let the head hang loose. And again, focus on breathing as you are attuned to the subtle sensations of the body. Sensing now probably balance between the two legs. At least more balance than we had last time we were in this position. Nice clearing breath. And let's come up halfway once again. Lift the heart, the head, bring the hands to the hips, and rise all the way up to standing. Let's go for a little bit of a back bend this time. So we have the feet apart, bring the hands back towards the sacrum, pull the pelvis in, activate the glutes, begin to lift the heart upwards, and the head back slightly. and then come back to a neutral spine. Okay. Feet hips distance apart. Roll the shoulders a few times. And let's find triangle posture. We're going to be finding it on both sides, one side, then the other side. So if you're going to use blocks, if you have more than one, you can set them up now, having them to each side. You can always carry it with you. And if not, either way, we will separate the feet facing the left side of the mat, bringing the arms to a T. Shift the right toes to face forward. The left toes can still face left side of the mat. They might come in a little bit. Okay, then when you're ready, reach out with the right arm. Pause here just for a moment. Sense what's active. Exhale, lower the right hand down to the inside of the right leg, even if it's all the way to the thigh or the knee. And then notice where this trunk is. The trunk is over the right leg. If it's not, take the hand further up the leg. Okay, then we'll take the left arm directly upwards and create a straight line with the arms. Then we'll start to turn the head upwards, look up past the left thumb. If you're going to use a block, it can be to the inside or outside of the leg. If you take it to the outside, you'll get a little bit more opening. One more breath. We're going to look down at the right foot. Inhale, rise up to standing. Arms are still to a T here, and then we'll pivot the left toes to face the back of the mat, right toes facing the side of the mat. Reach out with the left arm. Pause here. Sense what's active. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, right arm up. Turning the head, if you haven't already, to look past the right thumb. If that's creating tension, the shoulder might be too loose, you need to pull it down. And if that doesn't help, then you'll just move the head a little bit, shake that tension out. Three more breaths. Exhale, look down at the left foot. Inhale, rise up to standing, arms to a T. And then let's shift to face the front of the mat once again. Now, because we're at home, we have props around that we can use. So what I'd like is if you don't have blocks, or if you know you're already really tight in the body, or if you have any issues with balance, to see if you can grab a chair. You don't need a chair. You could do this by a window ledge, just something where you can have the hands on. You can do it at a wall. We're going to be coming into a single-legged chair posture. So again, this is the advantage. This is once we can train with props, then we can slowly learn what the body needs to do to maintain the posture without props. So find something. I'm going to be close to the wall and also have my blocks just so I have a couple of variations going. You know, bookshelves would be fine, anything that's stable. And then we'll begin by having the feet hips distance apart and then bending into the knees. Now let's just bring hands to the thighs for a moment. So I'll come back over here. Hands to the thighs, and we'll take a few like cat-cow motions here. So on the inhale, relax the belly. Tailbone out. On the exhale, pull the belly in, round the shoulders, head down. Let's go through this. Okay. Then we'll relax the belly and stay here for a moment. And this is where we'll start to set up this single-legged chair. So begin to lift now the heart and bring the hands together, thumbs into the heart center. Okay, right from here, start to shift weight into the left leg. Now, if you're by the thing that you're that's gonna support you, bring your hands to it and take the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Right, so you have hands resting on something or a hand, and you have right ankle on top of left thigh with the right foot flexed to stabilize this leg, to keep it active, so it's also supporting itself. Okay, and then right from here, see if you can lift the heart. Now, because we have a potential prop, you might play around and release the hand from that prop, and then maybe come back to it if you feel like you're going to lose balance. So see if you could be here without ever taking that right foot down, even if it means leaning on something else. So if you're balanced, you're going to have hands together, thumbs to the heart center, or you're going to take arms upwards. Ooh. Now let's start to change out of this. So begin to straighten up and then release the foot. Okay, maybe sway a little bit into the hips. And then as we did before, let's set up for the next side. So we have feet hip distance apart. You can hold the prop close by or have hands together, bending into the knees. Shift the weight into the right leg, bring the left ankle on top, flex the left foot. Lift the heart and the head. Remember, you have surfaces around to hold you if you need to. If you need that support. But 3 more breaths. And we'll start to come out of this side. Releasing, maybe a little swaying. And we'll come back to the mat if you were away from it. We're at the top of the mat. Right from here, inhale, reach the arms upwards. On the exhale, take a side bend to the right. We'll hold this for 1 breath. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, bend to the left. Inhale, come to center, look upwards. And then exhale, fold forward over the legs. Next inhalation, come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring the hands down, step or float the feet back, come back into plank posture. 5 breaths, find your level of challenge. Knee down, leg up, whatever it is. Next exhalation, lower down all the way to the belly. The hips come down, tops of the feet to the mat. And then when you're ready, forehead down, as we did before. Check in with the feet. Tops of the feet press down. The knees straighten. The thighs firm up. The glutes firm up. And then begin to lift. Press into the hands gently. Lift the heart, lift the head, and then lift the hands. Squeeze the elbows back. It's a good upper back strengthener. Mid back, low back. The whole thing's working here. One more breath. And lower down. Press your way up so you can rest in child's posture. Couple more breaths. Next inhalation, come back up to hands and knees, and we're going to thread the needle. So in the next inhalation, lift the right arm up, move the wrist around a bit, separate the arms from each other, and then exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left, come all the way down to the right side of the face. Maybe this is good. Maybe you want to take left arm up, wrap it around the low back, hold the right thigh if that's possible. Or just keep that left arm behind and push that shoulder blade into the back as you separate the right shoulder blade from the back. Let's take a clearing breath, and maybe you bring in some voice to really help that letting go process. So breathing in, releasing. We'll have the left hand down. Inhale, pick up the right arm. Exhale, the right hand down. Inhale, pick up the left arm, move the wrist around. Exhale, thread this arm through. Maybe this right arm picks up and wraps around. A couple more breaths, letting the body weight help with this position, opening the back, shoulder, left side. And we'll bring the right palm down. Inhale, lift the left arm. Exhale, set the hand down. All right. Let's find a pigeon today. So if you'd like to go the traditional route, you can take from table or downward facing dog and just lift this right leg up and then bring right knee to right hand, left leg slides back. If you're going to go on the back, then find your way down and bring right ankle on top of left thigh, very much like that single-legged chair, but now we're pulling the legs in that position. And you're also going to flex the foot if you're doing this on the back. And then whenever you're ready, start to lower So either lowering the heart or drawing the legs in towards the heart. As you are in either posture, when you find space, move into the space. Okay, so that means if you start to sense some opening has occurred in this right hip, then you might see if there's a little bit more that you can encourage by taking right foot further out to the left. If that throws you off to the right, then keep the foot more central. So you have to play around with that and experiment. We'll be finding maybe 3 more breaths. The intensity will get stronger and stronger the longer we're here, so long as it's not like a sharp pain and it's just intense, then you've probably just broken into the next layer of muscles. So breathing into that, celebrating the space you're creating. And just about there, you'll be finding the counter position that feels right to you. So if you're on the back, maybe some twists or happy baby or whatever feels right. And if your heart is down towards the mat, then you might lift and use this right, take this right leg in circles, whatever feels good. And then when you're ready, go into the left side. So left knee to left hand, right leg sliding back, or left ankle on top of right thigh, pulling the right leg in. Continue to immerse yourself completely in the breath as you focus on creating more and more space in the body. So immersing yourself in the breath, it's so hard to get bored in this practice if you're fully focused there. Every breath is so interesting. Maybe about 4 more deep breaths. And when you're ready, start to come out of this side. Find the position that feels good. And then we'll be meeting in seated. Sitting up tall with the ankles crossed to start, but we're going to find a twist and then we're going to be resting shortly. So let's begin actually by working with the neck. So hands to the knees, circle the shoulders in circles, circle in circles. Move them the other way. Take the shoulders up, back, down, drop the chin. Now circle the head. A couple times one way, a couple times the other. Shaking the head out after you've gone through those 4 rounds. Bring the head back to center. Now we'll work on the sides of the neck. So tilt the head to the right. Release the left palm down next to the hip, straightening the left arm. You might even sit on top of the left hand. Find a few breaths. And bring the head back to center. Release this side. Now before you go to the other side, just close the eyes. Pay attention to the left shoulder, right shoulder. Right shoulder is probably going to feel higher. So see that subtlety? And now we know that there's a difference. So we'll go ahead and tilt the head to the left. Release the right hand from the knee. Bring the palm down. Straightening the arm. Maybe sitting on the hand. Arm stays straight. And release, bring the head back to center. Move the head in circles a little bit. Okay, now we'll find our twist. So extend the left leg forward. Plant the right foot down next to the left leg. Get nice and tall. Turn to the right. So holding with left hand the right leg. Turn to the right. Right hand behind. And maybe you're just going to keep pulling the leg centrally as you turn to the right. If you want to go a little further, you might be able to hook arm outside of the thigh and keep turning, flexing the left foot. Every exhalation, you can sense the spine moves into that space. And keep pushing into the leg to help with that. And we'll come to center, switch legs. Turn to the left. Left hand behind, flex the right foot. Set up the right arm. And come to center. Let's come all the way down to the back. It's time to rest. See if there's something else you'd like to take before we lie down completely deactivated. Maybe another twist on the back or a happy baby. Shoulder stand, whatever feels good. And then we'll be releasing, letting go. Taking arms away from the body, palms up, feet away from each other, toes away from each other. Relax the facial expression. Sink the body into the mat, let it get heavy. Let go of any control of the neck, any control of the feet, any control of the knees, the elbows, the shoulders. No control here. Just letting go of all control. Now at this time, before you go into deeper rest, look underneath and find the underlying quality of this final posture, Shavasana, corpse posture. The final resting pose. Let yourself experience that underlying quality as you rest. Slowly become aware again of the body. Come back to a deeper breath as well. Move the hands, move the feet. Maybe knees into the chest, arms around the knees. And then whenever you're ready, start to transition to seated, maybe rolling to the side for a moment. Maybe you're ready to spring up. We're going to close our practice today with Mangala Mantra. If you're learning it, you can join me if you know it. And if you don't, it's basically wishing success for the world in every way possible in terms of having proper guidance, having the sages involved in the worldly life to help with that guidance, to give those who are not feeling a sense of abundance to be able to experience that. For those who are suffering, that they may find peace and happiness. So we'll chant that, and then we'll follow that with Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu 3 times. May all beings be happy, healthy, free from suffering. Svasti prajabhya paripalayantam Nyayena margena mahi mahisha Go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you that is the same light in me. Namaste.